Welcome to N. Welcome to Ahman Green's Gamers Lounge. I'm your host, Ahman Green, along with my good friend and not here right now, compadre John Audius. He's out on work again, so it's just me rolling the show like last week, which I have no problem doing. It's so fun, and obviously I get my chops. I extend my mental endurance and physical endurance of running a show. So, welcome to Amon Green's Gamers Lounge. Like I mentioned, I'm your host. And so, if this is your first time into my Gamers Lounge, is informative. We talk about the video game industry in any sort of little areas like the gaming side, the esports side, uh, the business side, where things are changing, or where things are changing at the corporate level. That's gonna either better the video game industry or maybe make it worse. I don't know, or be indifferent. We don't know. We just we'll talk about them here. And you're in the chat. If you're in the chat, chime in, please. Let me, if you got questions, ask me. I'm open to whatever. You know, I used to play football. I understand that. So fire away. I have no problem answering the questions. But also now I'm the director of esports slash head coach here at the University of Nebraska, my old school where I played ball at long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. So now where I'm at, I'm all about the video games, man. I'm all about like Marvel Strike Force right there. Uh Coaching my players in League and Valorant and Super Smash Bros, Call of Duty, Apex, what else? Madden, 2K, just a bevy of games that we have here. So I'm just checking in real quick on the show here. That is what we usually do. We catch up from last week's show. And I've been a busy guy. I've been running and jumping, walking and talking. I had a chance to go down to Arlington, Texas, Dallas area to take in my second, I say my first, but the second of the CECC, which is the Collegiate Esports Commissioners Cup uh, championships. And last year it was in Atlanta, Georgia. Had a fantastic, I say, had a great event there. And this year was even, I say, just a tad bit better. So I flew down and got to hang out with uh, a young lady by the name of Angela Bernard Thomas, who helped organize and help produce, along with Joe, who is her production director, and this a bevy of people. I say names that pop off the top of my head: Paulie, Hype, Shoutcaster, and Space Goat. Not Space Ghost, Space Goat, young lady there, also a shoutcaster, and hanging out with them, and then everybody behind the scenes that did the announcing, the announcer of everything, and did the shoutcasting for the individual games. So they had Valorant, they had Super Smash Bros, they had Overwatch 2, and Rocket League. So this was the NCAA version of March Madness, but in May. So they called it May Madness, which is fantastic. It was sponsored by some big sponsors: Xbox, Smoothie King, McDonald's, and a few others. I can't remember right now, but it'll pop in my head later. And took a lot of photos here. Actually, let me see if I could pull it up on my Instagram here so y'all could show y'all some of the photos here. It was interesting. But we had colleges, we had middle schools, we had high schools competing in these games. And this was a breakdown of all the games that they had started playing back in September of 22 to now, the ranking, the divisions. So we had schools, I say the schools that topped it off: Fisher College, Maryville, um, Michigan State in some games. Boise State was there. So teams that I'm definitely inspired to work with, talk to. with their directors and coaches, and obviously, we're going to compete against them come the fall of this year in some of those games. So I'm gonna see if I could pull up any of my Instagram here. That's where I did some posting of stuff. Let's see here. Here we go. And I'll pull that. So it was really cool. What's up, average? The average historian. Thank you. It's a Batman little montage shirt here going on. Matthias, how you doing? Over in Germany. Wow. What time is it over in Germany? It's got to be like 8 o'clock p.m. Big B, how you doing? John's not here. He's working. Oh man, it didn't pull up. Continue. Let's see here. Am I? Oh, I got to log all the way in, so I'm not gonna do all that. But I will post. I post. If you go to my Instagram, you go to my Twitter. So my Instagram and Twitter are the same. I'm on Green 30. Go there. You can see what I posted over the last weekend, and it's just crazy fun. Thank you, J Cole, for the 7 month in a row sub there. And I will put in here. There is sub rewards here. Sub rewards. Let me put that in there. Boom. That pop up. Will that work? Yes, there it is. Boom. So I got a chance to not only meet these organizers, but then obviously meet the high schools. I'm at a middle school just outside of Corpus Christi, Texas, that was up there competing in Apex Legends. Met their coach, and they just started their program literally, I think January or even September 22. And it was just good hearing all the stories that are told about all these esports programs because they're just as, you know, this is year one or this is round zero and how the practices go and how the teams are getting built out and what comes first, or what how they get things started to hear the whole story similar to my story in terms of starting Lakeland and now being here in Nebraska and where the hoops and the hurdles that you have to jump over, go under, and around to get your esports program started. It's just everybody has the same story. You got to explain to people what esports is. You have to go down that aisle of understanding, like how explaining to parents what it is and what you're gonna do as a coach to coach your kid at X game to make them better. Big B got 25 months in for sure. So it was just fun to hear that and see a lot of directors, a few that I've met, Joe from Shenandoah, Chris from Boise, um, Casey, who was at St. Ambrose, who's now at St. Cloud. Um, I know other coaches that were not there, but I'm gonna be crossing paths with him. Kevin Palmer, that was at Carthage, he is now at Michigan, and I met Michigan State coach, another Chris. It was two Chris's. Actually, I'll say Doc because Doc Haskell up at Boise State. That's the other one. So I'll separate those. So one Chris and then another Chris technically, but Doc Haskell. So shout out to all the directors and coaches who I got to hang out with and have a good time with and share stories, share best practices of how to direct their program, how they coach kids in certain games or coach kids overall, and how they make those connections, just like any coach should do. Try to make that connection with your player so you could get the best player uh, and student for them, not just you as a coach, but for them. Because then once they understand what they have to do as a student athlete, then they know what they have to do as the athlete. Or I say what they know have to do as a student, then they'll know what they do as an athlete because they know they have to have a GPA at a certain level. It's got to be a 3.0 or above. They got to come to practice every day. Can't be late, and if they are, they better have a pretty darn good excuse. So that's that accountability part of things that every coach in a program has crossed that road with a student or with a player. And not every player, some players do it just right, and some players there's a process. You got to learn. They got to learn things just like you. Like I'm learning things too. I still every coach ain't perfect to either. They've made mistakes. Not big ones, not small, but mistakes all in the same to get, I say, learn from that experience. And that's what I've done. I know that's what I've done with any mistake is as a coach person, hey, learn from it, get better at it, and then progress as a human being there. So that was just fantastic. And to know that this event is going to be every year, so it gives me motivation as a coach and a director to make sure my players here at Nebraska are ready to play mentally and physically. And it's going to be a journey. Like I said, that journey started for those teams back in September of 22. that qualified to go down to Arlington, and Arlington sound like it's a place that it will most likely happen again next year. So that's fantastic. They played at the esports facility where Optic Gaming Texas or Optic Texas uh, houses their players and teams. So you saw the banners of all the Call of Duty championships, which is all of it obviously very cool, but very motivating at a time. We got Hammer says, "Nice, was nice to meet you at the event last weekend." Oh yeah, man, nice meeting you too. So seeing those banners of the Call of Duty championships and just seeing the names of Scump and Formal and just seeing how, I counted how many times Scump won a world championship in Call of Duty. He has a lot. He has a lot. He has, I think, I know of more than five for sure that I counted that Scump um, had a world championship in Call of Duty. So it's no surprise that he's still doing what he's doing in the Call of Duty League, and he's been doing this since he was probably like 15 years old. So he's been at it, 10 plus years now, winning championships and playing for, still playing with Optic and doing his job there and having a good time because he's living out his dream. So it is fantastic to see the gamers compete, to see the vendors, see people supporting, sponsors supporting, and just seeing, the game hers was there, which I know Verta Maloney and her team. So they had a boots on the ground booth there. Layla was the representative there. Hung out with her a little bit, talked to her just to say, I know the company, keep doing what you're doing, and if you need any help, let me know. I was just floating around. I actually got a chance to do a couple panels to the directors with the coaches. So Chris, Victor from the West Point Army. So Army was there. They have an esports team. They've been having an esports team for as long as I can remember since I was at Lakeland and was able to hang out with them and talk with them. And obviously they're intense. They're serious. Be in the military, but they're also training young adults to be well-rounded human beings through the art of esports and all the other stuff that follows along with it. So it's just been, like I said, this last weekend, I got my exercise in. I was walking from my hotel about a mile. It was Texas, so the weather was nice. It was a little toasty on a couple of days. So one day I didn't want to sweat. I had a suit on. I didn't want to get all funky, so I got an Uber. so so everything was kosher by the time I got to the esports facility. So I was gonna be all sweaty back and everything else walking into that. So let's get into the show. So that is my check-in here. Let's see what we got up here next. Like I said, John is gone, but he will return. And let's get into some what we got up here next. Let's go get into some the quick hit news bites, and then we'll do this or that after that. So we're gonna get into quick hit news bites right here. So I got a great story here that I pulled from, where is this at? Kotaku. As of Kotaku, let me share my screen here. Add that up here. So this is the 9 reasons we haven't finished the game. And I know in the title it has, I think Demon Souls and some other games. So this is a slideshow of games, and this is Mario Party, and it's asking the question: did you know most people actually don't finish video games? And it says here in the article on Kotaku, a game like Elden Ring can sell 20 million copies, as it says there on the screen. But if you look at the trophy completion percentage on on the on your account, it says only a little under half of the people who bought the game on the PlayStation actually finished the game in 100% completion there. I say actually finished. Where did it say? Actually, it actually saw it through the end, so actually finished the game. So there's a lot of reasons for this in the total valid. Obviously, you got work stuff pop up. So AAA games are getting longer. I can vouch for that. I played a game. I played Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and I'm still not done. And I have over 100 hours into the game, and I'm nowhere. I'm like just cracking 50% completion. So things come up like it says in the article, busyness, but it's just go down the list of games. So Mario Party is number one. I won't say it's number one. It's just one on there, and that's a game I just started playing. Man, I bought it because me and my wife wanted to play a game, and that looked fun, and I picked it from the little from the shelf. I was like, oh, this is like it's a Mario game. You can't go bad with Mario. So we're like I say I've been playing it mostly I bought her a Switch. She hasn't gotten on it. She's still learning it. So I'm actually be home this weekend because it's Mother's Day to have fun, but then teach her how to use it to get this game going. It's a fun game, but obviously it's Mario, so it's got all the little tricks and things you got to do to get past it, to get past the level. So for a newbie like my wife, she gets frustrated. So, hey, Carol, how you doing? Good morning. Thank you for all you did for us in the green and gold. You are welcome, Carol. No problem. And Big B says, "Well, actually, we actually got all the PlayStation trophies." All right. So if anybody beat this one, give me a thumbs up in the chat. I haven't beat this one. I'm almost through. This next one is, I think this is Demon Souls, or this is Bloodborne. Oh, that was Demon Souls remake. So it said here, so this person, so the art, obviously the article is talking about the person who actually played the game. So if anybody played Demon Souls, I haven't. I know of the game. I played games similar. I know I played Dark Souls, which is obviously similar. It's a knight. You're a knight fighting demons and all that. So Demon Souls here. Let's see here. It says it started in a brief soul-like kick at the beginning of the pandemic for a guy I was seeing, and when we played, oh, this is Bloodborne together. Despite some initial friction, it was in getting a handle on the game structure. I actually really enjoyed it. It was not looking forward to playing Demon Souls remake together when they launched on the PlayStation 5. So then he broke off and just realized it was putting myself through double the emotion anguish of playing one of the From Software notorious difficult RPGs. I remember Demon Souls or Dark Souls. It was like really technically, mechanically like over the top. So it really took some time and everything. So it was just like sometimes it's the mechanics that draw you out, like the name or maybe the structure or the company, the developer of the game can draw you in to purchase it. But then when you start playing it, you're like, ooh, wee, this is rough. Another one that was I learned for a while was God, it was a RPG. I can't think of it. It was a Shadow something, and it was similar to Demon Souls, similar to Bloodborne, where you're a knight. It was almost like from the medieval, from Lord of the Rings story arcs, and it was something Shadow Run or Shadow War, and you had to upgrade. You were fighting these demon armies that were just coming at you left and right. You got to master from using your sword to using your uh, bow and arrow, a shield. So all these different mechanics and weapons you had to do obviously can spook you from not playing the game because like it's way too much or it's just way too long. Like for me, with Assassin's Creed. So let's get on to the next slide here. So Dead Space 3 is a game I did complete. I don't know about y'all out there. This was my favorite series of horror genre shooters. I don't know for the article here. I don't know if they finished it as well, but I know for me, this was a 100% completion on all the achievements. I played uh, Dead Space 1, 2, and 3, and then I think it was a couple of other spin-off little ones. So this one I was able to finish, and so no reasons why I didn't, so I don't, there's nothing there. But I have a couple of games coming over here. I'll explain to you why I didn't finish here. And then Stray. I never played Stray. Anybody else play Stray? And that one's like that would if you're a cat person, you should be able to knock that game out. But Stray, for the person writing this article, said they enjoyed it well enough last year, but it also made them sad. So not because of the dystopian cyberpunk universe where the only thing left of humanity is its robotic creations, but because you play as a cat, and I'm allergic to those little guys. Oh, hold up. So while I was doing cute cat stuff, while learning about this desecrated world, all I could think about was how I never get to see feline shenanigans like in my everyday life. I would sneeze and be miserable all the time, and so I would stop. There you go. That's one feedback on not playing a game. That means you're allergic to it, but it's an AI, so the cat is not really in the room. But obviously, he's referring to actually having a cat to be allergic. Obviously, yeah. So what's up, Gaming Sheboygan says the number one reason we haven't finished the game. We had another game come out that took over the number one playing spot, side eyeing Zelda, pushing out Star Wars Jedi Survivor tonight. I know. So I just started Jedi Survivor, and I'm not done with God of War Ragnarok, and I have and I have Hogwarts that I have not even opened the plastic yet. So you got, I think the gaming industry knows this, so they over inundate us, they overwhelm us with all these cool ass games, and be like, all right, they put us on Front Street. I say the best system I had was because my mom and dad, when I was a kid, they put on me. They said, "Look, we're not going to buy no games until you beat the game you have. That means you master it, and then you could get another one." And so I had to beat all the games, and so mastering a sports game was different. It was more like Legend of Zelda, Super Mario Brothers, the games that they were referring to. So I was like, okay, let me finish it all the way completion, show them I beat it, and then boom, I could go to the store and buy a new game. And then eventually, I was beating so many games. My dad said, "You got to get a job. You spending too much money on these games, boy." What you got here is gaming Sheboygan says Star Wars pushed out Advance Wars reboot. Okay, and then the game companies need to know, or I'll put that. The game companies need to know they can launch a game other from watch a game launch a game from Christmas to Easter. That is right. Oh, that's okay, Carol. No problem. And then Gaming Sheboygan also says, I pray GTA 6 drops in June or July. So yeah, that's the 41 there. Along with the games that are already out. GG, Gaming Generations there in Sheboygan. But I knew Stray, like I remember Stray last year when I talked about it, I'm like, man, everybody's gonna buy this game. But I didn't think about, I mean, you don't really, I mean, unless you own a cat, then you obviously find out you're allergic. But this guy was just kind of, I guess, joking around. So let me get on to the next little stories here. What's the next game up? Oh, Metroid Dread. Oh, I say the silence would do it all. And that, so I started this game, am not finished. My reasoning behind why I'm not finished, I got stuck in the part where, like, you know how you go into every room in the game if you played it, you discover the room and then it stays open on your mini map. And I kept going to different rooms, and now I'm like stuck to where I have to be the ball. You know, when you turn into the ball, you can roll. I don't have that I say that utility yet where I could roll. I could only do so many things as a ball. So I'm kind of stuck in that area, right? So I haven't touched the game. It's been over a year. So let me see what their excuse is. It says my friend gets irrationally angered that I haven't beaten Metroid Dread. Same. I'm kind of there. And so I know I just refuse to finish it because I think it's funny how much he gets angry. So am I pissing off a friend to not finish the game? Since you haven't finished the game, you're gonna continue to keep that friend unhappy. I wouldn't do that to my buddies. I want anybody in the chat. Yeah, I'm not. I'm too nice of a guy. I'm not going to not finish a game to not make you happy, to not let you be happy. I wonder why that person's so mad they haven't finished the game. Other than like a game like Last of Us, which I finished part one and part two, but part one took a little turn for the worse. I had to start all over because my PlayStation 4 hard drive shut down. It was destroyed. I don't know what happened to it. And so gaming generation Sheboygan, I had to take it to my man Eeyore there. Shout out to Eeyore who fixed it. And then I had to reboot the game. So it was fine. I already, it was walking through easy because I had been down that road. So it was a lot easier. When you replay a game, obviously, for those reasons that the hard drive crashed, then going back through it, you should remember all of the things that you had to do. And that's what I was able to do. But I still, like I said, with Assassin's Creed Odyssey is just a nightmare that I continually have. And then Outer Worlds, I have this game, and my excuse is I just haven't opened it yet. I have this game has not been opened yet, and let's see who wrote this. It says, see who this Kenneth Shepard. See what they said. I came into Outer Wars with next to no context about the game. I really don't know nothing about the game either. It looked like a cool game. It got a lot of good reviews. I bought it for the same reasons. And it says about what the game truly entailed beyond the fact it had a time loop mechanic in its core. Oh, okay. When I started playing through Morbius Digital enigmatic adventure game, I was immediately captivated by the clockwork solar system and learned and wanted to learn more. Though I knew I would only have 22 minutes to explore this space before I was promptly plopped back in the beginning of the journey. Hmm. Outer Worlds had me in clutches for about an hour until I got fixated on one particular planet. Then up that through a process, I think I have actively suppressed from my memory. I end up floating through the infinite void of space 3 times and within the early loops. So there you go. So the game, yeah, you better understand the game before you go ahead and put your $60 down, $70, or your hundred and something bucks for the special edition. Know what you're getting into. Like if I would have known Odyssey was gonna Assassin's Creed Odyssey was gonna be the way it was for me, I still would have bought it because I'm a fan of the game. Because I played all the games. I played Assassin's Creed 1, 2, and 3. The only one I really didn't actively play was Black Flag. Black Flag, it was just something about the boats. I didn't want to drive boats, but I had to drive boats in Assassin's Creed Odyssey. So I'm like, all right, I think I'll go back and try out what's going on with my computer. It's like this is weird. It's like flickering. Anyway, I play I play Assassin's Creed and honestly, it didn't have boats, so I was like, all right, I guess I'll go back and do boats anyway. So, all right, so that was my man's reason. He basically got lost. So yeah, make sure you know exactly what you're getting into in the games you're buying, because I know if I ever get into Final Fantasy, I have cousins and close friends who played that game, and that is an investment of your life. And it's like 20 of them now. And at that time, it was only 10 Final Fantasy when I found out they were playing it all the time and uh trying to and beating them, playing them couch co-op back in the day. It was early 2000s, actually late 90s when all those games out. And I was like, y'all got Final Fantasy? They were like, yeah, we play them all the time. We just trade back and forth. So when you're dealing with a game that, for one, you don't know about, read up on it, do your research. Let's know how much time that game is going to take from the rest of your life. Which, as gamers, we know this happens very much too well. And this is another follow up to 3D Mario World. This is also the one I started with, and I'm partway through this one. And this one takes me back to my childhood days playing Super Mario Brothers 1, 2, and 3. So to already have the format down of this game is real easy because you collect certain little things. Collect the little stamp. You collect the stars, the green stars, and you get as many coins as you can. Up to 100, you get a new man. So you're always doing that. And then the good thing is when you're on a map, if you haven't collected all the items, you can go back. So you never miss it. So even if you miss it one attempt, that's where the time comes in for this game, is you could just go and replay the map and see if you could find the uh the stamp, the star, or even a red penny that will give you other little fun little toys, or I say gifts, bonuses if you find them. And Mario always has those little things that you can search inside. So the good thing is you can redo this map, all the maps on the board. And then you gotta see it's all about muscle memory. I know I got a friend, Grand Pooh Bear, who is a speed racer, games speed runner. I said speed racer, speed runner of games. So having memorizing the game when you're going through it, that makes it easier because then you can walk through it and not have as many errors as you had the first time around. So that's Super Mario 3D World. And then and then this is a game I never played, but I knew of it, Persona 4. So if any Persona 4 people in the chat, give me your story here, and we're going to read this one from Patricia Hernandez. Says, I played through Persona 4 in college, right in my dorm shared living room. As many of you know, RPGs like this aren't short, which is most of that is true. At the same time, games of like Persona had really broken into the mainstream yet, hadn't really broken into the mainstream yet. So as far as my friends were concerned, I was just subjecting them to weird, I'll leave that. You could just read that for yourself. Real monsters and endless screaming, I guess. And the velvet room in the game where all I seemed to be doing was making a round in the countryside. Anyway, I finished the game, cried, and immediately started a new file. And when folks noticed I was starting it again and was doing the same stuff again, they started roasting me, and I was too embarrassed to finish my game. Plus, RIP. Well, that'll be a good reason. Yeah, you're getting harassed a little bit. Hey, don't let them harass you, Patricia. Play your game. If Persona 4 is your game and it's off kilter a little bit, it's a little weird, or you got friends that say, hey, man, you shouldn't go back in there, that's their problem. That's not yours. Don't play your game. Let's see. I'm trying to think. I had a game like that. Mm, no, because I like the games I pick. I like. I just gotta finish them. For in terms of RPGs, that's the only game that was kind of that had a game mode that was interesting that I had to adjust to was Gears of War when Gears of War went online in their multiplayer team PvP. The wall bouncing threw me for a loop because it wasn't the typical movement that you see in a FPS. You basically saw run and jump and slide or climber up and climb on things, stuff like that, not wall bouncing and then trying to still hit a headshot with a shotgun or a Nasher in Gears of War. So that was the only game that I thought was weird, and I was like, I'm not going online with that one because it's just not the typical FPS. It's not the same as Call of Duty, not the same as Halo, not the same as Overwatch, Fortnite, what have you. But to get harassed and not to play a game by your friends, those are not good friends, Patricia. Okay, you gotta find new friends. All right, next one here. Let's see what's that. Oop, I gotta go down here. I never played this game, but I heard it's dope. Yakuza, the series, not the original game. So the Yakuza series. So that is a series of games. I know it's like 9 or 10 games. So if you're full, you got to be full committal. This is like Assassin's Creed because this has different, like I said, it's 10 different versions of this game. They have actually officially 1, 2, and 3. What is that? Told you, it's my computer's. I got a ghost in my computer right now. What is going on? It's plugged in. The battery's in. Let me check the battery just in case, cause I'm a loss. Y'all can see. Hey, y'all can see. There's ghost in my computer. What? I got it plugged in. It says it's not plugged in. All right, I gotta plug in. That's what I'm doing. Where is a plug? I gotta hurry up before the computer shut down. That's what's going on. Excuse me while I plug in my computer so the battery so it don't shut down. Ah, ah. I thought that plug was working. Huh. Okay, I thought I had a ghost. I didn't. The battery, the the outlet was not working. There it is. All right, now I'm on full. That's why my computer was blinking all. I was like, I got a ghost in my computer. So let's go down. Who we got here? I'll just read the first part of this. Looks like a big storyline here. We got Kenneth Shepard. He said back in '08, a friend of mine had been hounding me to play Yakuza games, but I known but I thrown Ryu Ga Gotoku Studios crime drama series in the abyss of my backlog for years, and I figured I'd get to it eventually. So Yakuza O popped to the top of my list when the same friend and I made a deal. If he played the Rampa games, I would play Yakuza series. So at least a comparable amount of Yakuza since Spike's Chunsoft's murder mystery franchise has fewer entries, but presumably he figured I was hooked on the Yakuza and wanted to finish all the games in time for the next one. So we both started the games and got well, we're pretty into it, and I could take or leave beating them up mechanics. I was very quickly invested in the campy soap opera drama of it all. Meanwhile, my friend was surprised to find he was into Dama Rampa's investigation of the mock trial setup. By the time he was finished with the first chapter, he publicly admitted the games were good and I hadn't just been talking out of my you know what about it for years. So this is a friendship thing here. What sounds like. So he says, but friends, there are two things you to know about me. I don't forget anything and I can hold a grudge like nobody's business. Who has a friend like that? I know I do. When my friends stop playing Rampa, Trigger Happy Havoc, not out on my malice or lack of interest, just because life things came up. I too stopped playing Yakuza O and swore off playing games until the friend gets back on Monokuma's despair train, and I'm not. I have not played Yakuza games since, nor will I until the blood oath is fulfilled. So finish the game. That's what Ken was saying, bro. Hey, you picked the game. You said let's play this. Let's play these games. I started mine. You got to finish yours. Only fair there. I say that's a crazy reason not to play it, but it's a fair reason. Y'all agreed on it. If you had to say, hey man, you play this game, I'll play your game. We're gonna go back and forth until they're done. And then the other friend bows out, basically bails out on you. Yeah, that's a good reason not to finish. Cause I'm like that, man. I'm like, at least I would finish though, because I'm just a gamer. I like to play my games. So I'm gonna get back into it. So, all right. Let me get back on. Let's get back on this time here. That was a quick hit news bite. So let's get into some this or that. I know this is the favorite part. I know Big B, Eeyore, y'all in the house today. Let's get into some this or that real quick. Let's get into that real fast.
This or that.
All right, here we go. Let me get down, get all the banners ready to go here. There's so many different things. All right, first one. I got some cool ones. It's in the school year, so think of that right now. End of the school year, summertime's right around the corner. A little work here, a little work there. And the first one up is education or experience. So in a person or somebody you're working with, I say book smarts basically. Are you looking for that education side of it or the actual real experience in us in somebody that you're either working with or a company or because you see how some people would say, "Hey, I got all this experience," and you find out they really don't. Or even if they educated with a master degree, it's like that degree didn't help out nothing. Oh, let me get the click off the screen here. Remove that. So education experience. I say I'm an experienced guy. I like people like even myself when I around them long enough and I see that experience comes out, I'd rather take that over education. Sometimes when you read in that book can give you real life situations. Yeah, I said situations, not situations, situations. So you learn from that situation to make sure it's nailed in your brain. So real life situations, you see, when you have a real life situation, then I'm gonna listen to that before the person that's book smart. Now, I ain't saying book smart is not on point because it does have some well information, but that real life experience is a whole nother world. JFK is with me on that with the real life experience. There you go. How did the semester end for you? Average historian semester was pretty good. Actually, today is the last day of class. We got class presentations of. We have three groups in my class. We have three projects they have to present, and then I'll listen and see if everything goes down. So everything's going pretty good. And then average historian says, "Same man, as I had 2 degrees in history, which is great. I wasn't about to get a degree in social media." I hear you. I hear you because you got experience of studying already and knowing that history and just picking. And then once you learn the process of how you study, how you research things, and then you know what social media is basically a researching of how you can attract people to your page or whatever. So yeah, you're already there. And then JFK says you can only go to school for certain professions. Exactly. And I'm not saying it's bad to be educated. I'm just saying, hey, just terms of like your coaching, your not sometimes the book stuff don't show you everything. Living a life sometimes does. So it shows you a little bit more of what you might have learned in the classroom, but then it goes in depth because it's like hands on. You get it right there, and then it might do something. You might learn something that's not even in a book, and be like, man, that don't work, and it don't work because you like, man, I'm learning from this. I'm no in this book. Yeah, it says do that, but I learned from this, and it didn't happen that way. You got to do this, then that. I know the book says that, but I'm gonna do it how I learned it the first time, so you don't get your butt kicked the second time. All right, next one on the list. Since we got that movie Flash coming out, that's where this one popped in my brain. We got pause time or rewind time. And from looking at the previews and what we know about time travel, pausing it or rewinding it in any instance is not good. especially rewinding time. Trying to go back in time and maybe try to fix something. That's what Flash is doing, as we've seen in the previews. None of it's good. It's a ripple effect. It's butterfly effect. You're gonna hit that, it's like putting that finger around and all the ripples gonna change and you don't know what's gonna happen. I said, I don't know. I say I might pause time because I don't cause too much damage. Just pausing it for about 30 seconds a day just to get caught up on things. I say 30 minutes. I'll do a 30-minute pause just to get caught up on my tasks because I got so many tasks in the day sometimes. Pause the day. I could keep moving, get some things done. You know, I got to clean the kitchen, got to wash the clothes, you know, play some video games, pause, and then boom, when I'm done doing all that in maybe 30 to an hour, pause the clock, and then the clock is, and then I can get a whole lot more done in my day. So I'm gonna go pause for me. What about you in the house? Rewind is good for JF Gaming Generation Sheboygan says it all depends on how much time you can do. A minute, 10 minutes, 1 hour, 1 day. It's pausing time. So you could pause or you can rewind as much as you want to go. So that's up to you. I think pausing time, I will pause at least an hour a day. I say an hour a day will get me caught up on so many things while the world is stopped. Because you're not really changing, you're just changing like your immediate area. I think back in time, you'll do some damage going to rewind stuff and everything. All right, Matthias, man. Catch you later. Peace out. Gaming Generation Sporting says, I would love to rewind, but pause time would be fun. Pause time would be dope. Because you could be at that moment, say if you're on a date, your first date. Don't worry, high school, college, grown person, you had your first date, and guy or girl, and you just did something, or you're thinking that you could pause it. All right, they just asked me a crazy question, or a question I'm comfortable asking. You know what? Pause it, pause. Let me think about it. Because you got to have the perfect answer because you'll try to impress he or she. And so pausing it will give you that time to really think out. Because sometimes, some of them, a lot of us is not savvy, quick-minded thinkers in terms of a date. I know as a teenager, I was terrible. I was nervous. If pretty girl, nervous, couldn't talk right, be mumbling on my words. If I had a pause button then, I would have shut the deal down on a lot of girlfriends when I was in high school. Or somebody, it was just like, oh, I was like, let me just don't talk about it. Don't talk about it. Yeah, Pister says, who would you rather tackle in open field, Bo Jackson or Derrick Henry? You asked me that question? Really? Man, I'll probably go Derrick Henry if I could get past the stiff arm first. I don't want to go. Bo Jackson hurt. He's too big. Well, they both big. I mean, they probably weigh the same size. I know Derrick Henry's taller, but they probably weigh the same because Bo Jackson was like 240, but he hurts. He hurt people. All right, so I'll deal with Derrick Henry all day. I'll do Derrick Henry. I mean, yeah, I'll tackle Derrick Henry before I try to tackle both. All right, next question here. It's a fun one. One of my favorite things to do: mowing the yard or weeding the garden. And my favorite thing to do is mow the yard. Oh, that is my mental getaway. That is my woosah. If you remember Martin Lawrence from Bad Boys 1 or 2, I think it was 2, where he's like woosah because Mike, Will Smith's character, Mike Lowry, was driving him crazy because he's all Mr. shooting from the hip, don't ask questions, shoot first type thing. And that was stressing uh, Martin Lawrence character out. He started to woosah. So my woosah is cutting the yard, cutting the grass. And the cool thing is I don't have to cut grass here in my neighborhood. They have a lawn service, so it actually feels good not to cut. I'm watching them, but if I had the chance, I have a sit down mower. It's 52 inches. Man, I could just put my headsets on and just be like, hit that thing, that zero turn. Hey, mowing the grass. What about y'all? What about the chat? Where y'all at? Gaming Generation says neither yard right now. Oh yeah, I seen your yard. Unless your yard has a 90-degree incline, that ain't fun. Oh, I know yours front yard. I've been to his house a couple of times. Yeah, he has a 90-yard incline or 90 yard. Not a 90-degree, about a 45-degree incline. That is his front yard. That is not fun. Nah, I feel you there. What about the other one? What was that other thing? Weeding. What about weeding the garden? I know weeding the garden is probably up on level ground. Yeah, yeah, that's right. Oh no, that's right. Yeah, damn near 90-degree incline. Oh my god. All right, and this is the last two fun ones here. Last two fun ones here. We got first day of school or last day of school because today is technically my last day of school as a teacher. So, and I could go both ways on this because I was the anomaly kid. I was that one kid that I love first day of school and I love the last day of school because usually last day of school at the elementary school level, you're having a party. It's going down. Things about to get real. It's about to be a breakdancing battle wall. It's gonna be cupcakes. It's gonna be lemonade, fruit punch, and the teacher is like, "Have fun. Just don't get loud. Don't be too loud." But I'm gonna say it always fun. Last day of school, you get that bell ring. You're like, yes, I'm out of this piece. Bye. I don't see you for 3 months. Deuces. So last day of school, baby. What's up? Go play esports. Last day for show. And JFK. This is a softball one. Just toss that up for you. Or this is a nice steak dinner. This is you gonna eat it up. Yes. Last day of school. First, I do like first day. I remember when I was like 8 or 9, and it was my second year going at the elementary school in Los Angeles. And I was so excited about the first day of school that I might have slept 3 hours. Wasn't long. But I woke up like I had slept 8 hours. I woke up like, woof, I can't wait. New friends. Boom, 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 boom. Can't wait to see what they did this summer. Can't wait to see what teachers I got. Boom, but I kind of had an idea what I've been at the school for a year now. Actually 2 years at that time. So I was geeked on first day of school. I was so hyped. I was like, man, pretty girls and who's gonna be my new friends. I was just that kid. And then what I'm gonna learn this year, I was just like hyped up. So last day of school. But last day of school is the funnest. All right. And we got another one from here. Another one, fun one here. Everybody that is above age 35, you might be able to answer this one better. Because I don't think anybody but above 30 even experienced something like this during their childhood. So here we go. Last this or that of the day. It is Saturday morning cartoons or after school specials. Man, everybody knows what I'm talking about. If you're an 80s kid, you a 90s kid, Saturday morning cartoons, Rugrat, Rocko's Modern Life, Snorkels, Smurfs, Transformers, G.I. Joe. What else? That's the top five right there off the top. They coming off the top rope with the elbow. Boom. Right there. You had to be up by 8 o'clock. You couldn't be wake up at 9:30, man. You miss half the Saturday morning cartoon. 8 o'clock, maybe 7, you get Smurfs. After that, you get Snorkels, which was Smurfs underwater. I figured that out. Like, if I'm like, oh, they just took the Smurfs and put them underwater now. Okay. Then after that, then you get into hot and heavy stuff like Transformers and G.I. Joe. G.I. Joe, American hero. G.I. Joe is there. And then Transformers. Fire. And then Nickelodeon, when they got into the fray, when Nickelodeon hit, I was probably like 11, 12. Between Rugrats, which I don't know why I watched that show, but that show was so fire. Rugrats was on point. Saturday morning for JFK. Pitster. Ooh, I'm missing all these messages here. Is I was a kid that wore my nicest outfit on the second day of school. Oh, you going back to the school? Hey, yeah, yeah. Having them fresh kicks on that first day of school, walking into school like, oh, I'm so clean. You got that Outcast song. So fast and so clean, clean. Before your time, bro. You were before your time, Pitster. But Saturday morning cartoon for you, JFK, and then it's a game generation. Sheboygan says in the second grade, I won a contest to host the weekday cartoons and the Saturday morning cartoons for the week. What? Where was your man? I wish I did that. I wish I was at your school. I would have totally been your co-host, bro. I had the rundown as I told y'all already. The rundown was fire. Oh my God, that is so dope. It says my second grade class for 1 week got to watch 30 minutes of cartoons just for my commercial break before we left school. What? What's up, Bear fan? How you doing? Dog, that is dope, Eeyore. Gaming Generations. But Saturday morning cartoons was fire. After school specials, it was more like a PSA announcement. Don't talk to strangers. Don't be a bully and um, get your homework. Get good grades and stuff like that. What you saw, and it was okay. It was good. I watch them every now and then. But Saturday morning cartoons, man, even Sunday. I think Nickelodeon was actually on Sunday. And then if I know everybody knows about Ren and Stimpy. Before Beavis and Butthead, Ren and Stimpy was those guys. It was those weirdos, a little cat and a dog, or a little chihuahua and a big fat cat. Hey, Snippy was the cat. Ren was the chihuahua he didn't look happy at all ever. That was that dude. And if they were gangsters, man, that would be a tough crowd to mess with. Cause not Stimpy. Ren was a G. He talking his little voice. I can't even. I wish I could imitate his voice. It was awesome. And we got JFK. What he says after school was just Arthur on PBS. Yep, Arthur on PBS. I remember seeing catching a little. I was getting into my teen years when that hit for me. So you keep losing my voice. Oh, okay. Probably the microphone. It's not close enough. Oh man. But yeah, that is the fire stuff right there. That good on Saturday morning cartoons. All right, finish with this or that. We already hit quick hit news bites, and now we're gonna get into game releases. Yeah. Game releases. Oh, all right, we can get all these banners down. And we got game releases of the week, baby. We got some cool, fun games for y'all, and we got some big hitting titles. Hopefully, it'll play this week and won't buffer and think about playing the video for y'all. But the first game up is a game from my past that has been around my entire life of gaming. Get the video started. Of a Kingdom. And no, it is doing its thing again. It is buffering. Come on. Stop thinking about it. Ugh. I'll get into it. We got Legend of Zelda Tears of a Kingdom. It is out March 12th, which is this Friday. Pre-order is still available. So watch. This is the final trailer of the game, and it's on Nintendo Switch. So an epic adventure awaits The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom here. Fun game. So, like I mentioned, only on Nintendo Switch. This is the sequel to The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. So, you decide on your own path through the sprawling landscapes of Hyrule and the mysterious islands floating in the vast skies above. And you harness the power of Link's new abilities and fight back against the malevolent forces that threaten the kingdom. As remember, we talked about this game a few weeks ago, and they have where you can mold a tree into a rock and make a hammer. So they got these cool little I say things they added to the game. So the graphics are the same. Playing right here. None of the games. It's set on the transform and expanded Hyrule. The find ways to explore, like I mentioned, create. So grabbing a rock and putting it into a tree to make a hammer, or a sword into another sword. You have a dual sworded weapon there, and discover all the epic journeys fueled by your imagination. floating islands, mysterious floating islands, excuse me, that have suddenly appeared in the sky above Hyrule. So this is after the game is ended in Breath of the Wild. Then you have these floating rocks in the sky. So this is where our hero
Link.
before returning to the surface world to begin his epic adventure. The sky isn't the only thing that changed in Hyrule. So from familiar locations, some of the same areas you visited in the last game have been dramatically transformed. New towns, dank caves, mysterious gapping
I know why I am here. It's something only I can do.
Yes, Bear fan, I'm getting YouTube chat answers as well. And Pitzer, subscribe for 10 months, man. Thank you, 10 months in a row. So we got a little buffer in there, but we seen majority of the game here. So Tears of the Kingdom pre-orders still available. So you got today and tomorrow. So you got 2 days. If you want to get this game on a pre-order, you probably get a new skin or something that obviously it's always fun when you buy new games. You get the little things added to the game by purchasing it sooner than later. So anyone else losing voice, or do I need to check my side? You might be, because I'm on. I thought I was plugged in. The Wi-Fi is kind of iffy in this room, Bear fan. And when I do plug in the Ether acts a little wonky too. So I will move on from that right there. But that was Breath of a Wild. Tears of a Kingdom. Let me get out of there. Let me get the other game ready since this one wants to buffer and think about it. There. Next game here is. This is a fun game. This is the brother, the sibling of GTA, which is Saints Row.
Sunshine Springs.
You're Chris Hardy, the movie star.
Your payments.
But it
This
looks
is
like
a
a game up
headshot.
my alley because I
work
play
for cash.
GTA. So this is Saints Row, the heist and the hazardous DLC. So this is on all platforms,
There's no
and it
way
came out
we can let him get away
yesterday.
with this.
You can't kill a major movie star.
We're not gonna kill him. We're planning a big fucking heist.
Let's go, let's go, let's go!
The goods will be kept in the vault,
We have to get past the state-of-the-art laser detection.
which is off the main ballroom.
Which will be swarming with Marshall Renikoff.
The free skyline update is also
Gotta get my hands dirty!
allowing sunshine self-emote and emote selection, improve combat skills, gameplay flow, balance,
Dropping the magnet.
that we are right now for a peek at what to expect from this game. So there it is. A lot of blowing things up. Let me see me loop it. Did I loop this? I looped it. So you play this again. I'll let it run one more time. Here's a quick video.
Have you seen this $1 million wanted posting in Sunshine Springs?
You're Chris Hardy, the movie star.
Your payments on the table.
This is a headshot. I work for cash.
I game. I win.
Man, Saints Row, I haven't played it yet. I think eventually I'm gonna just. I think it's on Xbox Game Pass, and I'll download it. And so of course it wants to think about it right now, so it's buffering. So I'll get on out of this. But as you saw the preview there, the first run through, fun game. GTA sister, cousin, brother. It's in that same neighborhood where you can basically, even though it has a plot, a story to follow along, you don't really have to do that. You could do what you want to do. Because that's what GTA is. You basically do what you want to do in GTA. And now they have the next fun game of doing fun stuff. All right, now where are we at? Oh man, we right down. We're moving along here. Moving along. We had once on stream, and again, since my compadre John Audius is not here, so I'm gonna go into, even though it's not on stream, as I set up here. It's a fun movie that's out this weekend. It's out last weekend. So as I get my screens ready, it's still buffering and still think about it. I'm talking about Guardians of the Galaxy, excuse me, Volume 3. That is out now. And as soon as the video stops pinwheeling, I will play it. There we go.
I'm Star-Lord. I formed the Guardians. Met a girl, fell in love.
Oh. Play. There we go. I thought I already did that. I was thinking about it. So, as it pinwheels, as we know, with this game.
That girl died,
There we
but
go.
then she came back. Came back a total
Third
dick.
installment
Oh,
of Guardians of the
please.
Galaxy.
He left out
So
some
it's
important
still building
information,
some aloft
but
with Gamora. Peter Quill rallies his team to defend the universe and one of their own as a mission that could mean the end of the Guardians if they're not successful. So that's where they kind of lose me, but
My
I'll fill in the
mission
gaps once I sit down
is to create
and watch this movie
the
in the
perfect
theaters.
society.
There's Gamora's there, but they're saying more than a loss because she died when the Infinity Stone, the Soul Stone, was then
The way they
requested by Thanos when he got to the mountain where he sacrificed her to get the Soul Stone. So that's where you kind of like, what is going on? I thought she died. Black Widow can't return, but somehow Gamora could return because when they time traveled in Endgame to kind of put the stones back in certain places at certain times, stealing them and then putting them back, kind of got to that point where some people were able to be brought back to life by being from another multiverse. As we know with this series, DC is going into it. We're going to see that in Flash next month, where it's going to be some time traveling, some multiversing going on. And as you know, in multiverses, there are copies of you that may be a little different or yet the same, or evil when you were good, or good and you're evil now. So vice versa. So I just watched the first two Guardians of the Galaxy just to fill in some gaps, just to kind of get reminded of what's out there. I know it says what's on stream, but this is what's in theater. It'll be on stream eventually by midsummer on Disney Plus. So we'll be able to talk about it then and see everything. So go see this in theaters. I know I am. I talked to one of my daughters and she said it's fantastic, and I respect her judgment. She has passed. I have raised her well in the art of movie watching and being a comic connoisseur. All right. I done my job as a father there, making sure my girls, my boy, I got 4 girls and a son. Make sure they know when they watch a good comic book movie, a good any type movie for that matter, but especially comic books and horror, gotta nail them. So good job. So she told us go check it out. We are this weekend, so I advise you to go check it out. Hopefully somebody from Marvel is just free advertisement, helps me out, give me something, anytime. I'm a fan. All right. So let that go. Hope everyone. Hey, we're at the end of the stream, man. God, it's so fun. Time flies when you're having fun. I know that for sure. So any questions that I missed? I see you, BR Facial. Thanks for jumping in. I still didn't even know that. Oh, yeah. Thanks for jumping in. Everybody else that enjoyed the show, that come in and watch, I appreciate you all. We'll be back next week. Same bat channel, same bat chime. Ahman Green TV here on Twitch. Ahman Green's Gamers Lounge here on YouTube. And then Twitter and Facebook as well. Ahman Green 30 on Twitter. And then Ahman Green on Facebook. It'll pop up. If you already follow me, you'll get that notification on your phone, on your tablet, on your computer, whatever. And if you're not into my Discord, please jump in the Discord. I'm going to put the command in right now. Boom, boom, boom. Join the Discord, please. I haven't had, there is some this or that's in there. I forgot to add them, but I will add them next week. So you could go in our Discord. We have a this or that section where you could put in some this or that's that I could say, and then say who put it in there. So like Eeyore, he's put a whole bunch in there. So I say Eeyore's this or that, then I say shout out to Eeyore for putting that this or that in there. Please do that. Help out the Bear fan. He just put in his command. He is doing a nice fundraiser. He's always helping out where he lives and where he can. He's helping my stream out by put it on social media, on his Twitter, retweeting all that, retweet anything that Bear Fan puts out there. He is a guy of helping people, just like myself. So like I said, we back here. Same day, Wednesday, same bat channel, Ahman Green TV and Ahman Green's Gamers Lounge on YouTube. And I hope everyone have a good rest of your hump day. My last day. Say that. Slow down. I got too excited. My last day of school. Yeah. Let's go get it. I'm gonna have some fun. Hope y'all do too. And hope school is almost done for all y'all out there. Don't do nothing crazy. Be safe. Have fun. Again, be safe. Have fun. See y'all next week. What's up, Speedy? What? Now audio's coming in. How you doing, Speedy? We're wrapping up the show. I will turn that volume. Hope you're doing well, Speedy. We just wrapped up the show, so you hope you have a good rest of your Wednesday. I'm trying to get through these tabs. All right, Speedy. Good. I'm glad you're having a good day. Join. You're already in the Discord, so I don't know what I'm about to say. All right, get down here. All right, y'all. Peace out. 2 and 2. You've been watching Green Gold G Lounge. You know what I'm talking about today. Me and Gilbert Brown, Dorsey Levins. Peace out.